Hello, Gibson family and friends. I can't remember a time when I've been more excited to go outside and mow the lawn. My plan is to do that in just a few minutes here. It's almost 70 degrees and the sun is still shining. And just yesterday, I actually bought some fertilizer, and so I'm gonna mow my lawn and put down some fertilizer. And right now, that sounds about right. So I was thinking about you. I have been thinking about you, and in communicating with various people, both of Gibson and other places, it just strikes me that we've all hit something of a, I don't know if I call it a wall or a hill or something. I think that we're realizing that the season that we entered into some, 6, 7 weeks ago is turning out to be something longer. And there's still uncertainty. There still is uncertainty about the future. There's certain uncertainty around so many things. And none of us likes to live with that. None of us likes to live with uncertainty. It doesn't mean that we're control freaks necessarily or anything like that. It's especially difficult on those of us who do like a fair amount of control. However, none of us is meant necessarily to be totally comfortable with uncertainty. And so I know that for some of you, this has been getting a little bit more difficult, maybe. Rather than finding a new routine, we had hoped that things would be past by now. We would have hoped that there would be some level of normalcy resuming in our lives, and that just is not the case yet. Hopefully soon, little by little, but I suspect it's going to be a fair amount of time before we engage with life exactly how we used to. And again, I say, maybe that's okay. Maybe that's a good thing. I'm thinking that the again part of what we're feeling too is that the novelty, if you want to call it that, the newness of all of this is by now worn off. And so we're trying to figure out what is this like anyway. And it seems like a timely time for us to be walking very slowly through these verses in the book of Philippians, the letter of Philippians. I remind you again, we've been looking at chapter 4, and last week we began with verse 4. And remember how it goes? Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. And then here's the thought for today. And I'm going to cut it rather quickly. I think that's okay, although the rest is required, certainly. But we'll get into that next time. But verse 6, do not be anxious about anything. Do not be anxious about anything. There's a comma there. The sentence is not finished. But I think it stands by itself to a degree as well. Do not be anxious about anything. Part of it is what we've already thought about. The Lord is near. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything. But what do I do? What do I do with my anxiety? Well, there I'm going to just ask us to hang on. Keep holding on to the fact that the Lord is near. And let him speak to you. Let him be present with you. But the rest of this sentence is going to talk a little bit more about how is it that we can avoid being anxious. And Paul gives some specifics to that. But for today, may I leave you with just that? Do not be anxious. That's my hope. That's my prayer. That's my thought, my encouragement for you today. I love you. I miss you. I think about you so often as a community of believers at Gibson Church, but also as individuals whom I've come to know a bit and appreciate a great deal and love. So again, if I can be of any service to you, don't hesitate to reach out by emailing me or calling my home phone. I've listed those in the emails that I've sent out, and I'll maybe include it in this one as well that will have this video. So friends, do not lose heart. Take courage. Trust in the Lord because He is near. And we don't need to be anxious about anything. We're going to get through to the other side. God is faithful. He will get us there. And when we get to the other side, our vision will even be a little clearer perhaps. And we'll see the reason why we did not need to be anxious. And so I leave you again with this word. Do not be anxious. We'll talk more about how we can do that next time. All right? Well, everybody, again, until next time, shalom.